The deputy stepped out of his cruiser and took one long look at my 83-year-old grandfather, Walter Hanley, who stood shirtless with a trout in one hand and a course in the other. Then he turned to the screeching HOA lady, Shoreline Whipley. "So, let me get this straight," the deputy said, rubbing his temples. "You called 911 because this man was whistling while fishing on his own dock?" Grandpa grinned. "Actually, son, it ain't just my dock. I own the whole damn shoreline." Grandpa built his cabin in Cedar Crest Bluff in 1973. Now surrounded by the upscale Summer Haven Shores development, he was constantly targeted by Shoreline, the HOA president, for violations ranging from his unapproved wind chimes to his indecent bare chest. She treated him like an enemy, even calling the health department on his annual fish fry. The war escalated when Shoreline sent 2 HOA men to chain up Grandpa's dock and impound it, claiming the entire shoreline was a common area based on the covenants. Grandpa had been waiting for this moment. What Shoreline and the HOA had missed was that back in 1981, Grandpa had purchased the entire eastern shoreline, every inch of waterfront from Dock 12 to the northern cove. The HOA had built their walking paths, gazebos, kayak racks, and even their Whipley Beach entirely on Walter Hanley Sr.'s private, legally deeded property. He waited for Shoreline's final overstep, which came when she called the police on him for aggressive and menacing paddling and fishing shirtless. When Deputy Morrison responded, Grandpa held up a hand. "Officer, I think it might be helpful if we established exactly whose property we're standing on." Within an hour, Grandpa's dock looked like a convention of county officials. The surveyor and a records clerk arrived. The findings were unequivocal. Every single HOA improvement along the eastern shore sat squarely on Walter Hanley Sr.'s property. The HOA had been trespassing for a decade. Shoreline sputtered, claiming the HOA had spent thousands in HOA funds on improvements to the shoreline. Judge Hernandez, who had conveniently shown up, mused, misappropriation of funds. Possibly fraud depending on how it was represented to the members. Grandpa, the reasonable man, formally demanded the removal of all HOA installations from his property within 10 business days. The HOA's lawyer advised immediate compliance. Work crews started dismantling 3 gazebos, a pickleball court, and a meditation garden. Next, Grandpa leased the entire cleared waterfront to the Cedar Crest Fishing Club, who immediately put up a massive sign, "Private shoreline property of Walter Fish Whisperer Hanley." The sheriff's department opened an official investigation into the HOA's finances. The forensic audit revealed over $70,000 had been spent on improvements to Grandpa's private land. A local news segment titled, "HOA President Calls Cops on Elderly Veteran, Gets Schooled in Property Law" went viral. Shoreline's frantic attempts to grab the reporter's microphone became a meme. The district attorney charged Shoreline with misappropriation of funds and fraudulent use of HOA resources. At her sentencing, Shoreline was found guilty on all counts.
2 years probation.
300 hours of community service. Ordered to pay $45,000 in restitution to the HOA. $45,000. Shoreline gasped. "But that's my entire retirement savings." The judge replied, "Should have thought of that before you spent other people's money on someone else's property."
Court is adjourned. Grandpa's patience paid off.
The shoreline was his, and his enemy faced financial ruin, all thanks to a fishing pole and a land deed older than the HOA.